Apparently, there is breaking news in the world of politics, and we'll be talking about that. I see that I've got Sasha started. We'll see if other folks join us as well. But I did see that there is breaking news coming out of Washington, D.C., and the whole Iran situation, and all along those lines. It looks like there has been a situation where there might even be some extension of what's going on in the ceasefire and all along those lines. So I just saw that flash across my screen that there's been an extension of the ceasefire and all along those lines. So Trump extends the ceasefire in Iran, citing a seriously fractured Iranian government. So he's saying that the government is fractured and that is why there is this going on. And there's also the notion of Florida Democrat Representative Sherfelice McCormick facing possible expulsion, went ahead and resigned. So she went ahead and resigned, and all in that way. And Israeli soldiers have been punished over vandalism of the Jesus statue in Lebanon. So they've been sentenced to jail for damaging the Jesus statue in the country of Lebanon. So they've been two soldiers have been jailed from the Israeli army. And Lebanon is saying they do not seek war with Hezbollah, but they will not be intimidated. And Francis Macron vows to help Lebanese prepare negotiations with Israel. So it looks like there's still some things going on in the sense of ceasefires and things along those lines. And by the way, as I mentioned earlier today, Japan is scrapping their curbs on exporting weapons in a historic shift. So it looks like there might be Japan joining the race of people that can supply military weapons to other countries and everything like that. So, what's your thoughts about that? And apparently, Tucker Carlson is apologizing for supporting Donald Trump. Says he will be tormented for a long time over his support for Trump and everything like that. And the Taiwan president, Lei Ching-te, canceled their Eswatini trip. So I think that they were planning to go to Africa, but the Taiwan president cancels their Africa trip, blaming Chinese pressure. So there might be some pressure for China to invade Taiwan. So they thought that they would play it safe, citing that there's some interference coming from China and everything like that. So, what's your notion on these that are developing, including this extension of the ceasefire?
Um, Let me just take back a little bit. You see, the phenomena of electing a businessman as the head of the state, especially United States of America, it's a very problematic situation because the way how you behave as a businessman, where very often you have to lie and you have to use the situation to your advantage and do uh, some very questionable moves and sometimes quite illegal moves, thinking that okay, it's a little bit illegal, but illegal by whom? You know, we will take it to court and we'll get it 5, 10 years extension. In the meantime, we will get what we need. It's I'm talking about the say average businessman. I don't know, and we're talking about a businessman with a record of Donald Trump bankruptcies, lying every day several times. Um, the diffusing people and dithering people every day. Okay, we have peace talks. Oh no, we don't have peace talks. Oh, we have 2 weeks. The ceasefire, ceasefire. Oh no, we don't have ceasefire. I cancelled it. Okay, no, it's on now. Now actually we have ceasefire. This is it's degrading the United States having as its head this lying creature on each and every way. This is horrible, horrible, horrible. So there is no surprise that allies, and not only allies, are turning their head away and not to hear and not to see that. But there's something else happening is, well, you all know about his attachment to Putin. So at
Hmm.
about the same time, Russia now, their official position, and it was voiced on their one of their TV shows that number one with millions and millions of Russians are watching that. So one general before during the day they were talking to Zelensky, or you must give us this. You have only 17% of the territory of the Donbass. Just give it to us. We need it. Just give it to us. Stop arguing about that. It's horrible. Just give it to us. It's about time. So this general now says that let's come back to reality. The reality is that by conventional forces, we cannot get this 17% that Putin wants. We just can't get it. It's
Hmm.
impossible. So the only way we can get it, if we will bomb and destroy bridges near Kiev over the Dnieper River. But there builds a way that without the nuclear weapons, we can't destroy these bridges. So therefore, we have to use nuclear option to destroy these bridges. About the same time, Trump approached his General King and asked him to relay to Trump as the option and the mechanism how to use nuclear weapons.
Hmm.
And General Kane refused to give it to him. He says there are certain codes, certain rules according to which he cannot deliver to Trump what he wants. We don't know what's happened tomorrow. He can replace this general with another one who will be more accommodating. So Trump will have perhaps the instruments how to use the nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Now, this war actually tells me, regardless to when and which way to land, more and more countries in the world will definitely do everything possible and impossible to get the nuclear weapons, because this is the only real detergent, uh, detrimental means of having deal with nuclear power, such as it's Russia or US or any other nuclear power country. So there will be proliferation, and now you understand that North Korea feels very secure. They don't afraid that the US will attack them because they have uh, the nuclear weapons and means to deliver. Okay, if Iran would have today nuclear weapons and ways and means to deliver, there would be no war. Okay, so now it's becoming clear that in next few years, I wouldn't even say 5 years, I would say maximum 2 years, there will be a huge proliferation of countries that would have nuclear weapons.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense and everything like that. I did see something that you would find interesting, and if any of our other guests come on, they'll find it interesting, or regular panelists, I should say. But apparently, it looks like we're going to have a America Reads, and I know that that's part of the reason that Nick and Kim even founded this network is because they think that American education is not doing that well. So apparently, Trump is going to be participating in a marathon Bible reading. You heard me right. He's going to be doing a marathon Bible reading and everything like that. So he's supposed to read a Bible passage in the Oval Office for this America Reads event and everything like that. So it's part of a week long faith event and everything like that. So it's supposed to be streaming tonight at a and all along those lines. So he's already got this complicated relationship with the Pope and everything like that. But I think that tonight he's supposed to be reading a Bible passage. It'll be easy. It'll be interesting to see which passage he chooses to read. Maybe it'll be Psalm 93 or one of the other Psalms or something like that. But it'll be interesting to see what he chooses to read as his particular work as this part of America reads. So if you were to guess, or if you were to recommend a passage that he should be reading, what do you think he should pick as his passage? As apparently this is a thing going on later on today where he's going to be reading a passage from the Bible. And I don't know how many times he's even looked at the Bible, but apparently he's going to look at it this time.
I don't know what to tell you. I was actually reading a lot of materials in the last few days about the Bible and Jesus Christ and all the Christian doctrine. And what kind of disorients me is the fact that absolutely no source, whether it's historical or religious or any other source, could explain what Jesus Christ did in his life between age of 12 and 30.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute nothing, absolute silence. And if you take this evangelical studies by Luca or Matthew or John and another one yet, you will not find that information.
Yes.
And normally, when you're talking about world leaders, religious leaders, and so on, so there could be at least some information. Okay, he did this and that, and he was in this country or that country.
Mm-hmm.
There are some talks about it. Possibly, he was all this time in India and studied Hinduism, or he was in Alexandria in Egypt and studied the Talmud and Jewish studies.
Mm-hmm.
Yet another explanation was, I forgot what it is, and it doesn't matter because it's still silence.
Yeah.
So therefore, all this, whatever Trump will read, I don't know what it has to do with the real world, with the reality, and why would you think that it's so important?
Apparently, it's part of this America Reads policy. So they're trying to get more Americans to read because we know a lot of Americans are reading online or not actually reading physical books and things like that. So it's a thing that they've been doing for a while. I think they maybe have even done it under other presidents as well and everything like that. I did see that the Southern Poverty Law Center, and I know that they've done a lot of great work, anti-racism work, but they're claiming that they're being targeted by the Trump administration. So they're saying that they're under investigation. This was about a couple of hours ago by the Justice Department, and that the administration is probing its use, I guess, of paid staffers and other things, or paid informants and all like that. So apparently they've got paid informants that are sometimes letting folks know about the racism and other things that go on in society. So now the FBI is investigating that, while at the same time, the FBI director, Kash Patel, is suing the Atlantic for defamation. So there were some questionable jet trips and the retaliatory firings and a bureau in chaos. But apparently they are now thinking that there's some things that have been reported that didn't need to be reported. So he filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit against the Atlantic. So that's a lot of money that the Atlantic might have to pay if he wins the lawsuit.
We'll go back, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
I will call back. Okay. So what else is interesting? So this is incredible situation where a country is militarily probably 100 times stronger than Iran. Never mind Israel, who is helping in any way it can help. Mostly, they have much better knowledge of the Iranian terrain, people, and their armies, and so on. So In any case, we are talking about 100 times superiority every which way. And here are and they already destroyed a lot of infrastructure, killed a lot of people, including girls, almost 200. And yet, this peace negotiations, Iran is one who is dictating the
Right.
agenda, the time, place, and so on. I
Yeah,
mean,
not only that, Sasha, but they seem to be dictating what we're doing in terms of our funding. Because earlier today, yesterday, we had our economic show with David Walker, and we're always doing that show where we're talking about the trillions of dollars. I know you talk about it in modern investment and other things as well, that we are in debt. But apparently, Trump, and this just came out earlier today too. I think it was earlier this afternoon. He wants $1.5 trillion for the Pentagon. And he also wants cuts to healthcare and housing. So he's detailing this funding strategy that's going to be having the Defense Department get $1.45 trillion or something in that neighborhood. And part of that is going to be spending because they've seen what Ukraine has done, getting a new drones and air defenses and everything like that. But that's a lot of money. We're already multiple $1 trillion in debt, but they're saying 750 billion for ships, jets, and the Golden Dome. So they still, and I know that your friend uh, Jonathan is a big supporter of the Golden Dome, but apparently they want to put a whole lot of money into building the Golden Dome and these ships and jets and drones and stuff like that. So, what is your thought about us going even further in debt if we're going to be finding this money? And I don't even know where we're going to find the money from. But what is your thoughts about this additional money that Trump wants to go into the Defense Department?
well, imagine that Trump will get, instead of trillion and a half, $3 trillion. Okay, and then what would it do for ordinary Americans who are trying to make a living, working, have families? What this extra money for Pentagon how it will change their lives. There will be more debt, so it will be, instead of what is it, 39 trillion, so it will be $42 trillion, and it will escalate to 50, I think, during Trump's time.
Mhm.
How does it affect lives of ordinary American in any positive fashion? I fail to see it. I don't see it. And also, do you think that your budget of Pentagon would be indeed trillion and a half, 2.5 trillions? Do you think it would get already victory in Iran and say, okay, we won? No, it would be about the same thing. So because you have so many warplanes, so you have another 10 warplanes. You have so many carriers, so you have another one or two carriers. So how does it affect? There is not even space in this the Strait of Hormuz or Persian Gulf. There are no spaces for so many warships as America sends them. They don't have anywhere to land. I even don't understand why they have so many ships there. What is the effect? Okay, we send 100 ships. We have 500 ships. Oh, now we are going to say 10,000 ships. So what? Where are you going to land those ships and soldiers there and so on? Look, it's obvious that there is a one way how Trump can, these negotiations. The problem is Iranians refuse to negotiate with Kushner and what's his name, Witkoff,
Right.
simply that they are clueless in this situation. They don't know what they're talking about. Now, J.D. Vance, okay, so he's there, and every 5 minutes he's walking away, make telephone call. So people figured out finally, who him talk to, because Trump was unavailable at this time when he was making phone calls. He was talking to Netanyahu
Mm.
because Vance himself is clueless. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So he was trying to coordinate everything with Netanyahu. This is a way how America send uh, so low quality people who are absolutely have no skills in negotiation. They don't know what they are talking about. And this is the result what America get. They have enormous military advantage, but when it comes to diplomacy, they are less than zero. It's horrible. And it's all world now sees what is today's American diplomacy.
Yeah, you're right about that. And they're seeing how bad it is and everything like that. And there's a lot of gamemanship going on, not just with the federal government, but with state government as well. Because I just saw another story that just came down, which is and I think you told me you've invested in this company, or maybe I'm incorrect, but apparently the Florida AG, their attorney general, is launching a criminal investigation into ChatGPT, and also one of the other ones that does that whole open AI because of their role in a school shooting at Florida State University and everything like that. So apparently they are um, investigating these apps because apparently they advised the Florida State shooter when and where to strike. So I'm guessing the shooter asked them when and where they should strike, and the Chat GPT and OpenAI actually answered them and everything like that. So I guess you can ask them anything that you want to. And now this could be creating problems for that particular company, because if you can ask them criminal things and they tell you, then that might be problematic for the companies. But I don't know, because I know you do a lot of investing, and I can't remember if you invested in Chat GPT or not. I know that you sometimes use it, and I know that definitely Rick uses it sometimes too. But that could be the downside of these apps that I know students use, because I'm near Duke University and everything, and I know a lot of students use it. But I hope they're using it for good reasons and not nefarious reasons.
Well, you see, with ChatGPT, if it uses information which is dated, and so maybe there was a few years ago, maybe there was some kind of industrial installation of some kind, and then say 2 3 years ago, they decided to have a school in that place. So if that information is not available for ChatGPT or so on, so it could actually make the wrong decision.
Yeah, could make the wrong decisions or give wrong advice or everything like that. But there's so much political stuff going on these days. It's just crazy. So, like I said, it is never changing. I mentioned the thing with the Trump situation and everything like that. And apparently, people are getting frustrated with Trump because a new Reuters study is saying that many Americans are questioning Trump's temperament amid the Iran war and his spat with the Pope and a number of other things. So there might even be an attempt. I think I heard that there was one done earlier today, but it was from the Democrats, so it won't pass, to do like a Article 25 or something like that to get him out of office. So a lot of people, including some that are his allies. I mentioned Tucker Carlson earlier, and of course we mentioned Marjorie Taylor Greene in past shows and everything like that. So apparently, folks are starting to wonder about his sanity and how much he's, as the old saying goes, how much of his marbles he still has intact and everything like that. So do you think that America may finally be waking up and maybe he'll get out of office before his actual term ends? Or what's your take on this? Or will we just have to weather the storm and wait for him to get out at the time that he would be regularly getting out, which would be the elections will be 28, and then the new president would come in the winter of 29. So do you think we got to wait till the winter of 29, or do you think that he'll be out before then?
No, he's not going to be out, because for that you need support of Republicans in the Senate at least. And you see, the problem is that he's surrounded by the cabinet of a few billionaires whom he made much richer since he became into office. Of course, he made much richer himself and his family. So that goes in. And so therefore, also, well, remember how he became nominee for Republican Party in 2024? What happened is that, okay, there are a few people, notably Nikki Haley was quite deserving candidate. And the only reason why Trump became a winner of that decisively, because Republicans understood that he is much better fundraiser than Nikki Haley. And it doesn't matter that he is his human quality leave a lot to be desired, and they knew all this faults of him, and but he is great fundraiser, so therefore a party under his the leadership will most likely win the election, and therefore they will have the cabinet position and everything else what comes with it. So therefore they are now betting that they need Trump for his fundraising skills,
Mhm.
because he is a guarantee that Republican may still win a midterm election, although it's hard to believe that it's going to happen. But however, and most important, he will lead Republicans, even if it's not going to be he himself, but whoever he will support as a new leader, they will win the presidential election in 2028. This is all what there is to it. So all these people who want to hang on to their jobs in the Congress and Senate and cabinets and everywhere else. This is money and nothing but money for a
Yep.
very few people. So American people are being betrayed by this leadership system and by what Trump is doing in particularly, especially with this war with Iran. Because speaking about what several years ago Obama engineered
Mhm.
agreement with Iran, so under this agreement, the international atomic agencies, they could inspect the sites. They were reporting. There were numbers that they could adhere, and so on. And Trump himself, as soon as he became president, he broke that agreement himself. So therefore, Iran was in a position when he could, in fact, develop the nuclear weapons. And I'm surprised why he didn't do it. Not that I would be very happy if Iran would have atomic weapon. No, I would not be, and I'm against it 100%. And yet, if it's not tied up to any international agreements and no inspections, then it's just a matter of time when it will have one.
Yep. And may get one and everything like that. Like I said, the GOP is just spending money left and right because I also saw that Representative Graham has released a blueprint for the GOP immigration enforcement, because that's something else we've been talking about on World Politics as well as on World Edition for several weeks and everything like that. But apparently they've unveiled a $70 billion immigration plan. And part of this is to circumvent the Democrats who are trying to end some of the ICE enforcement and some of the other things as well. And apparently they had a self-imposed deadline and everything like that. But that's a lot of money to be going out there as well. So Senate Budget Chair Lindsey Graham unveiled a fiscal blueprint on today, paving the way for the GOP's party line immigration enforcement plan. So they're saying this budget resolution is the first step in Republicans' two-step plan to deliver a bill funding immigration and customs enforcement, which is ICE, Border Patrol, and other agencies, to President Donald Trump's desk by his self-imposed June 1st deadline. So that looks like they're trying to get some more power to these organizations and all along those lines. So they want to fully fund Border Patrol and ICE at a time of a great threat to the United States, is what uh, Representative Graham said. But yeah, that's a lot of money. A ceiling of $70 billion for the Judiciary Committee portion and $70 billion for the Homeland Security panel portion. So actually, it might be closer to $140 billion that they're trying to go after and everything like that. But that's a lot of money to be trying to deal with those folks that are immigrating and everything like that. So we'll see if it passes and how it goes about. But they're trying to deal with that and also deal with some labor rights stuff as well. But it'll be interesting how this all plays out and whether they get everything they want. So far, it seems like they're getting everything they want every time they put something up. Because, as you just said earlier, he's got control of everything and all along those lines. So it might be hard not to have any of his stuff defeated until it gets to the courts, because he has lost a couple of court battles and everything like that. So the courts seem to be the only things that are fighting against him and not giving him all that he wants. And that's not the Supreme Court, but like the regional circuit courts and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that might even get circumvented as well.
Yeah, he gets more and more resistance from the judiciary,
Mhm.
and not necessarily Supreme Court, but
Yeah,
from regional courts or so on. Okay,
yeah, no doubt about that.
that's
Well,
good.
that wraps up a little bit of our discussion, me and you, Sasha. I know I've got another show coming up at about 6 o'clock, but this was a good discussion, and I'll send you the link of this in the morning show as well. And I know you did get the links for investment because you sent that out
Yeah,
for guests.
and send me a link for this show as well, please.
I would send that for no problem at all. So we'll get
Okay,
ready to wrap up, and we'll see you on World Edition in the morning.
thank you.
No
Bye bye,
problem.
everybody.
Have a good one.